Ceramic is such a cool material. It's scratch resistant. It looks beautiful. It has this quality to it that kind of looks toyish and a little bit fun, but doesn't feel plasticky. It feels premium. It's a beautiful material and I love it. And I wish more watches were made out of it. Some watches are made out of it. So let's actually talk about those watches. I'm going to do a deep dive of every single one I can find and really show you what the best options are on the market right now. Before we jump in though, a quick aside that not everyone makes ceramic bracelets. That's something that seems to be pretty new outside of the world of hot horology. And there are a couple of them, but generally they're going to be tough to find. So first and foremost, we have AP. They have a couple of options, none of which you will be able to afford. They have a beautiful black one that's a perpetual calendar. Awesome. They have a white one. I think white ceramic is incredibly good looking. And there are actually options that are pretty close to it that you'll be able to find later in this video as well. And then they also have some offshores that are ceramic as well. And the offshores, the ceramics for those are mostly the cases themselves being ceramic. That's going to be the most common that you're going to find. But again, keep in mind, they actually do ceramic bracelets as well. Next, we have Hublot. Hublot has some great options. I'm personally not a big Hublot fan, but they've started to do full ceramic bracelets. And on top of that, their colors are just out of this world, right? They have a sky blue. They have this new summer line. These things are generally going to be quite unaffordable as they're quite new. But if you wait a year or two, they're going to fall off a cliff on the gray market and you'll be able to pick them up for probably 40% off of MSRP. But in general, if you're looking for something in about the 10 to 12K range, you can find some pretty cool things from Hublot. Next, we have IWC. And I think IWC has a very awesome take on ceramic. For the Top Gun line, they've done essentially different colored ceramic for each military base they can probably even think of. So they've got a dark kind of navy blue one. They've got the Mojave, which is this kind of desert tan. That's the only time I've ever seen that color of a ceramic ever. I think it's wonderful. I really love white ceramic again. So I think that the Lake Tahoe that they have with that dark dial gives off this feeling of still having like a military vibe while being white ceramic, which is a tough thing to pull off. These are actually quite affordable in terms of ceramic on the gray market. So you can find these in the 6 to 10K range. Again, that's probably outside the budget for a lot of people, but that is in the realm of Seamasters and Speedmasters and whatnot, which brings us to Omega. Now, Omega have some pretty awesome ceramic as well, mostly on their Speedmaster line. So if you don't know, Omega has like their base Speedmasters, and then they kind of have their more expensive Speedmasters. And at the very top, they have their solid gold Speedmasters. And somewhere in the middle, they have their wonderful ceramic Speedmasters. And so these are their side of the moon. They have the gray side of the moon, the blue side of the moon, the dark side of the moon, the white side of the moon. And you'll find these, again, on the gray market for quite a bit off and pretty reasonable. But honestly, I would say they're overpriced. On top of that, they're quite tough to wear because they are thick boys and they're bigger even than your standard Speedmasters. So they're about 44 millimeters. The only exception to that might be the gray side of the moon, which they have slimmed down considerably with a new movement. I would recommend going to an AD and asking to just try one on and take a look and feel it. I think you'll be quite surprised. They're so polished, especially again, the new ones, that they almost don't look like ceramic. Next, we have Zenith, which I find to be quite a surprising one. And what you guys should know is that Zenith and Hublot are actually owned by the same company. And because of that, there's a lot of part sharing. So Zenith does have their Defy Skyline ceramic, which is pretty new, and it has a ceramic bracelet on it. And the bracelet looks and feels exactly the same as the Hublot. So if you're a Hublot hater and you feel good buying the Zenith one, you should know that you're buying a lot of the same parts. But either way, that Defy Skyline ceramic is a wonderful piece, beautiful skeletonization, and also has that awesome 10-second complication on it, which is going to just give you something else. Additionally, they have their Defy ceramics, which are a little bit older, and they don't have ceramic bracelets, which actually is a plus for some people because you might want to be able to use it in active scenarios where you don't have to worry about setting your watch down on a table and shattering the ceramic. And you'll be able to find them much more affordably, right? In the 4 to 7K range, generally, depending on condition. What I would look for, if I were you, is actually try and find one that's a little bit damaged by having like a chip out of the backside where you're not going to see it. That's something that will let you negotiate pretty hard and get a pretty deep discount in order to be able to get a piece that, for all other intents and purposes, is going to be in great condition because, again, it is so difficult to scratch ceramic. Next, we have Chanel. And I actually think Chanel is the pioneer of this in the white ceramic department, in that they've had their J12 line for quite a while. And this does have a very fashion jewelry-esque kind of look to the watch. I'm personally okay wearing those types of things, but even Chanel takes it a bit too far for me. I probably wouldn't buy one, but the upside to it is that it is so affordable. We're talking a couple of grand for this watch, and the ceramic is insanely well executed. It is polished to nearly a mirror shine. Now we're getting to the more affordable stuff. Rado actually has a Captain Cook in ceramic. It's beautiful. The Captain Cook isn't quite my style. And also they have a True Square, and the True Square is a really interesting take on a rectangular watch. So if you find the sharp kind of lines of a Monaco a bit too harsh for you, you might end up actually liking the True Square. And again, it is a very affordable ceramic version of a watch as well. Additionally, you have Maurice Lacroix, and they have their Aikon, I believe it's pronounced, and they have so many variants of it. They have the plastic variants, they have all of these different dial options, and they also do have some ceramic options. They even have ceramic bracelets. I would say this is the most affordable ceramic bracelet watch that you can get besides the Chanel J12. So I'm going to say it's the most affordable, good-looking ceramic bracelet watch that you can get that's of decent quality. The ceramic here is pretty good. The only downside to this is that the Maurice Lacroix is often called a ripoff of the Royal Oak. It actually isn't, because it's based off of older Calypso models, but people will think that you are basically wearing a homage to AP. You are going to be very sad to hear that we're actually running pretty close to the end of the list of ceramics. Bell & Ross does have some ceramic variants of their BR03. Honestly, I don't even think that watch should be ceramic. I think it should be DLC, because you wouldn't be able to notice the difference. And this is a watch that really has a toolish kind of feel to it. I actually don't want it in a polished ceramic, so I'd recommend staying away from that. Same with the Panerai. They have a few ceramic versions of their Luminor. I would steer clear of them. And then beyond that, you actually just have a ton of brands having a singular ceramic variant that they've come out with. And these are usually completely overpriced and unaffordable. The Bulgari Octo Finissimo, which is a wonderful watch, they have a ceramic variant of it. It's very overpriced. Ulysse Nardin, same thing. Breitling, same thing. Longines does have a full ceramic version of their Hydro Conquest, same thing. And even Girard Perregaux has a Laureato that's in full ceramic. Again, I'd stay away from these. Even Tudor has a black bay in the ceramic. That I'd actually be okay with. Additionally, once you go further down the list, out of the major players, Hermes and Louis Vuitton have them as well. Tag Heuer also have a ceramic version of their Carrera and a few ceramic Monacos. Again, these are quite expensive, but if you're into them, if you're into Monacos, I actually think these look fantastic and have dial options and skeletonization that you're not going to find in their other variants and other models. You will also find some micro brands that have some ceramic options as well. These I'd be a little skeptical of, but there are some players that are doing it very well. Formex has their Essence Ceramica, and it is beautiful. It's not incredibly compelling in terms of how it stands out. Now, we are actually about at the end of the list. There are always going to be long tail variants, but generally there aren't a ton of options for ceramic yet. It is very new overall to be using it in watches, right? Even it's not that long that we've been using it in bezels for divers and whatnot. It's something that we need to give a little bit of time to percolate through the market, especially as we see more options in Korea and options in China starting to manufacture these things quite well. It is difficult to manufacture ceramic because you can't just drill into it the way you would normal things. It will crack. And what you'll see is that even the options you have for ceramic bracelets, they have to have some pretty kooky use cases for working with them. Right? Some of the bracelets have pin and collar, which feels so outdated these days. Some of them have kind of a dual screw where you have to have two small screwdrivers working in opposing ways in order to be able to loosen them and take out links from the bracelet. But what I'm getting at here is that we are still figuring out as an industry how to make ceramic bracelets and how to make ceramic watches in general. I think you're going to see a lot more of them. So what would I recommend? If you are on a budget, I would recommend the Maurice Lacroix. I don't think you can get anything better than that on a low budget. If you are on a medium budget, I really like the Zenith Defy Classic in ceramic. I would absolutely get the white, but that's because I'm addicted to white watches. And I would also put in a very close second place the IWC Top Gun Mojave, actually. That tan is incredible. If I have a good amount of budget, you know, the 10 to 15K range, I would either get the Zenith Defy Skyline ceramic, as I think it's just such a beautiful, unique piece, but it does have kind of homage kind of feels to it. Or I would look right at that Hublot because they have such fun colors. Specifically, their newest summer colors are insane and they're right up my alley personally. And if you have unlimited funds, then obviously get the Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar. So I want to know what your favorite ceramic watch is. If you think I missed one, if there's one that you think that I didn't do justice to, or one you think really stands out, leave a comment and also like and subscribe so you'll get notified of my videos. And also it tells me that I'm doing a good job making these videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck.